Hello and welcome you crazy people, my name is Jay and in this video I'm going to be talking about the upcoming in-flight report from Fantasy Flight Games at Gen Con. Yes, so for those of you who don't know, Gen Con's a big convention. It's been cancelled in person, they're doing like an online thing, and Fantasy Flight Games are going to be doing a stream of like new announcements and stuff like that. They'll be announcing stuff for X-Wing Armada, but we're specifically going to concentrate here on Legion. Now I'm filming this on Monday, probably going to release it on Tuesday, and the Gen Con in-flight report is Wednesday night. So yeah, make it that's what you will. The reason I'm recording this early is because I've just done a Games Workshop video, so I didn't want to do like back-to-back videos. So that'll be important because Games Workshop announced 3 new starter sets, right? And I sort of feel like FFG should adopt that sales model, but we'll get onto that in a minute. Last caveat to this is basically I'm getting to a point where I'm not going to be able to predict what FFG are going to do because I don't know Star Wars to a level at which would allow me to see what is likely to come. We're getting to the point where a lot of the stuff from the original films have been covered, and once that happens, or like once the main films are covered, I'm a bit more like, yikes, I have no idea. So the first couple of things are going to be things that aren't specific models, and the first one's going to be points. So points are supposed to happen about once every 12 months. They changed, I think, in about September last year. So it would make sense that maybe we'll get a sniff of what's to come. Maybe not, because maybe they don't want to talk about that on stream. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And then another one, it goes straight into that starter set argument. I would love to see more SKUs that get players into the game. So by SKU, I just mean like a box that's going to get people in. So, you know, like let's look at the 40k. They had the Indomitus box, which was for players who are already playing. Big, new, cool box. And then they're doing 3 starter boxes. So if you want to play Star Wars Legion, you either buy the core set from the original trilogy or you buy the Clone Wars core set. And that's it. I would like to see something that replicates maybe like a start collecting box, so maybe a box for the Imperials and the Rebels, which is just not all the new units, but a lot of the new units that are not in the core set. So you could tell people, hey, buy the core set and then buy this other box. That leads me on to sub-factions. So I think sub-factions could fit that niche very nicely. You could have, you know, like a box of the core set, and then you say like, oh, we're going to make these new Ewoks or whatever it is, and we're going to have a box of the sub-factions. You buy the core set, you buy the sub-faction. That'd be cool. Or you have a starter box that is literally, hey, look, if you don't have anybody to play with, instead of buying the core sets, which are for 2 players, buy this 1-player starter set for this one faction. These are the kind of things I would really like to see them announced. Now, the problem with this is if they announce more boxes of the stuff that they already sell, I can imagine people getting a little bit annoyed because the stock levels on Star Wars Legion, not that great. So, yes, that's a bit of a problem. There's a lot of stuff that you can't buy, and COVID has made that worse. People might be like, but COVID has happened. There was a lot of stock issues before COVID, let's not kid ourselves, and COVID has definitely made it worse. So, yeah, I would personally like to see... I'm not bothered about the points changes, but some factions I definitely think are room for. We could see some sort of like really cool starter boxes or something. I've got my fingers crossed for that. But yeah, what we're not likely to get, I don't think we're likely to get any new factions. I'd be surprised if we see like a Scum and Villainy faction. I'd be surprised if we see like the J.J. Abrams new trilogy as well. I'd be very surprised about that. I feel like we might get that announced next year or something like that announced next year. If they started doing sub-factions and starter boxes, a starter box for the Scum and Villainy faction would be cool. Like, that would be mind-blowing. I would be super happy about that. And then, so let's have a look at like specific possibilities of models that could come. Oh, we know Anakin and Maul, definite shoe-in. Like, I'm 99.9999999% that that's happening. That was leaked. It's not confirmed, but like, you know, it's going to be there. So it's going to be there. So it's all you need to know. Yoda. So I was talking about original trilogy. In fact, we got Yoda as an original trilogy character. Definitely could happen. I'm not 100% sure because a little bit like Palpatine, could be a bit slow but strong. And I would presume probably for the clones rather than say the rebels. because in the original trilogy, he doesn't do that much fighting, does he? So could happen. He's just a classic face, especially now with Baby Yoda, whoever Baby Yoda is or whatever it is. I still haven't watched The Mandalorian for whatever reason. Why have I not done that? I really need to sort my life out. So I've just put Imperial Specialist here. We could see the some sort of specialist, maybe like generics for the Separatists and the clones. That just makes sense. That could happen. We've got the snipers. Specialist would make sense. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Ahsoka, I mean, fan favorite, isn't she? And I think she might be getting like her own show on Netflix. So if you start getting your own show on, I said Netflix, I meant Disney Plus. Apologies. If you start getting your own show, then you're much more likely to get in on this. And speaking about people who might be getting their own show, Lando, obviously, he might be getting a show with Donald Glover. Obviously, he played him in the Solo movie. A classic character, cool cape. I mean, it could definitely happen. I really struggle for separatist people. I really have no idea. There's like that droid who sits in the machines, maybe, but I can't remember what he's called. And I'm not going to search him. People would love Thrawn. People. I have never seen anything with Thrawn in it, but Thrawn is definitely a fan favorite. So if you want to announce that, FSG, a lot of people would be very pleased. I'm sure it's like Ahsoka and Thrawn are like fan favorites. I think. I don't think that's too much of a controversial statement to make. And then I don't know. I would like to see more Force users for the Imperials, and I don't really know who or what you could get. Maybe an Inquisitor. Maybe. That's it. I don't want to there's so many things that could happen that I'm not like making specific predictions. Like I know in the past I predicted like the Clone Wars sets, right? I was like, I said what would be in the core set, and I was like 99% right. In this case, literally no idea. They could surprise me and do absolutely none of what we've seen there, or they could surprise me and do all of what we've seen there. I don't know. As I said, we're getting to a point where I personally cannot really predict what there is because I don't really know what there is. So, yeah, that'd be interesting. I do think they should really cover off the like classic characters. So Anakin, Maul, we know they're coming. Yoda, Lando, and stuff like that. Is there any classic character? Oh, no, Obi-Wan. What's he called? What's he called? Qui-Gon Jinn would be one who could come. People who are in the movies are probably going to get in this game, and I would suspect reasonably quickly, because that's what most. Even though like you might be a hardcore fan of Star Wars, they'll want to make sure that they've got all the stuff that a new player who's maybe not into war games, if they ever wanted to dabble, they want to make sure that they've got likely their favorite characters, and that means key films and TV shows and stuff like that. Whereas people who want stuff from the more niche avenues, not all like. See, it's weird. Clone Wars has become more and more popular, and I'm sure like there's Rebels and the Resistance, which I've just never seen. But if your favorite character's in them or it's in the book, then it's less likely to happen quickly, basically. So for me, I really want to see sub-factions, and I want to see sub-factions with a new release. I want it to be like new boxes that are like one-player starter sets. I just think that's like it's weird that we don't have that for this game. A lot of games. Generally, you'll get the one-player starter sets, and I just think it makes sense because the two-player starter sets are fantastic. But if you don't want those units in them, like if you're an Imperial player now, really, are you going to be running Darth Vader? No. Stormtroopers occasionally, but Shore Troopers are better. Speeder bikes sometimes not. You could literally not run anything in the starter set if you're an Imperial player, and if you don't want those models, you're sort of still forced to buy them, and that's sort of what I'm against. Anyway, so one player starter sets, please. That's what I'm begging for. So on Wednesday, I'm not 100% sure what time it is. It's probably quite late in the UK, so either I'll do a video really late Wednesday and Katie will hate me because it'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning, or I might just do one in the morning before work. Either way, have a most beautiful day. Let me know your thoughts, what you actually think is going to turn up. I trust you probably more than I trust me at this point. Have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.